welcome back. My name is Olive and I'm here to guide you through an energizing morning yoga sequence. So in terms of equipment, all you're going to need is your yoga mat and, if possible, one of your yoga blocks, because we are going to be using it. If you don't have one, you can use a pillow or even like a chunky book. Basically, we're just trying to bring the ground up towards us. But yeah, I hope you enjoy and I will see you kneeling down. So find yourself in a kneeling position, whether you kneel like this, or you tuck your toes, or you come upright. Just choose one which feels more suitable for you. And we're just going to start by moving our spine. So hands onto your shins, and then you're going to think about flexing your spine. So drawing your rib cage to your hips, arching the back, drawing the chin to the chest. Have a moment to just breathe and observe the body here. And then on your next inhale, you're going to start to lift the chest up through neutral and then move it forwards into extension by squeezing your shoulder blades together as much as you're comfortable with. So thinking about drawing the ribcage away from the hips and gently looking up as much as you are happy with. And again, just breathing. And then just starting to flow between the two movements at your own time. You can do what you want with your hands. You can reach them off the body or say behind and interlace them. Again, whatever kind of feels most natural. You could even take them to your head to involve maybe a little bit more into your neck, especially if you have just woken up. We'll just take it nice and easy. Little circles, maybe side to side with the body. So incorporating a little bit more direction. Okay, and then from here, if I turn to face the camera, come back to a neutral position, you're going to draw your right hand down by your side, so kind of in line with the right hip. Take an inhale to lift the left hand up, then exhale to walk the right fingertips away and lean into that side as much as you want to. It doesn't have to be like a super dramatic lean, just like enough to kind of feel things waking up down the left side of the body. Now when I'm here, I like to involve movement, so you can bring left elbow towards right wrist and then reopen and maybe pan the hand behind you. Again, just finding a little bit more movement here for the thoracic spine, for the shoulder. Beautiful. And then just coming back to stillness, we're going to sweep the hands in front of us, walk them all the way over to the other side. So left fingertips to the ground. Start by reaching the right hand up. Figure out where you feel comfortable. And then when you're ready, bringing that right elbow in and opening it back out. A little bit of movement. Moving with the breath. Taking whatever other positions feel good. Okay. And when you're ready from here, again, walk the hands in front. This time when they come in front of the knees, we're going to rock over onto our hands and knees into a tabletop position. Okay, so we're going to start by moving into the wrists. I just want you to start off by just rocking your body weight left to right. Trying to kind of ground the fingertips as much as possible, spreading the hands, spreading the fingers. And then what we're going to do, again, if I turn to the camera, is start to slowly turn the fingertips out to either side. So as you rock forwards and backwards or side to side, you start to get some different feedback into your wrists and maybe into the shoulders. You can start to walk the hands around a little bit more, just seeing where you are comfortable with going. And maybe if you have the fingertips facing towards you, you can ever so slightly lean back, and if you want to lift the heel of the hand off the ground, you are more than welcome to. But again, just take it nice and easy, especially if you're practicing this early in the morning. So start to walk the hands all the way back round, still rocking side to side. And then as they come to face forwards, maybe we turn them inwards ever so slightly. And then slowly walk them all the way back round to face the front. Okay, from here come back to a kneeling position or a seated position. Just lightly shake out the wrists. Just going to move the hands and wrists in the opposite direction because they were in extension and load bearing in that position for quite a while. So we're now going to take it into flexion. So start with the hands straight out in front of you and just draw the fingertips to the ground. Just holding here for a moment and move them up and then back down. And just slowly repeating this a couple times. Now make a fist and do the same thing. Might be a little bit stronger, felt into the forearms. Cool, and then release. Take the left fingertips to the ground and lightly pull back with the right hand. Maybe just kind of pulse it as well, so in and out of the depth. Shake it off onto the other side, so right fingertips to the ground, lightly pulse, slightly move back. And then shake it all out. Okay, cool. Let's come back into our tabletop position and involve a little bit more of a hold. So you're going to start by walking both of your hands over to the left hand side, so kind of coming off your mat. You're going to drop your left elbow to the ground, keep your hips nice and high, and then you're going to slide your right hand, your right fingertips away. Try to stay on tented fingers, and then you're just going to slowly draw the chin down to your chest. Now, as you breathe here, the more kind of contact you put between your right fingertips and the ground, the stronger you might feel it down the right side of the body. So right shoulder, scapula, lat, rib cage. Just again breathing here. Let's go for one more breath. And then looking forwards, coming all the way up and walk over to the other side. So walk over to the right elbow to the ground, left fingertips slide away. Again, try stay on two tented fingers. As you draw the chin to the chest, breathing down and into the left side of the body. Keeping that breath nice and controlled. Again, as much engagement into the left hand as you feel like. One more breath here. And then looking forwards, coming all the way back into your tabletop position, and maybe just have a little moment to wriggle around on all fours. Take your spine, your shoulders, your hips into whatever positions feels good for you right now. Okay, cool. So we're going to start to evolve a little bit more rocking backwards and forwards in this tabletop position, sort of eventually building into some more spinal waves. So just start by sinking the weight a little bit further back into your toes, and then forwards into the wrists. Arms stay as straight as you can. And again, back into the toes, and then forwards into the wrists. Now as we start to progress this, maybe just creep the hands a little bit further forward, so you kind of widen the gap in between the hands and the knees. Still finding this rocking. And now what we'll start to do as we come forwards, maybe we bring ourselves into a upward dog or cobra position by allowing the hips to drop to the ground. Toes can either stay tucked or go untucked, and we find our lift. And then when we push back, maybe we sink all the way down into child's pose. So we're sort of incrementally building ourselves up to this. See how you feel, how quickly you want to flow between the two. If you're really enjoying holding one of the positions and you want to stay there a little bit longer, feel free. You can create your own little add-ons there as you like. Beautiful. I'm going to say 4 more breaths in total. So use that as a guide as to where you want to move. Just for the remaining 2 breaths. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, coming all the way back into your tabletop with those shoulders stacked back over the wrists and the hips back over those knees. Okay, cool. So from here, we're going to step that right foot forwards to frame the hands. And then you're going to walk the right hand to the outside of the right foot. Lift your back knee off the floor, and you're just going to rock backwards and forwards into the feet. So you can lift your right toes off the ground. You can bend into that knee as low as you want. You can really ground the back leg, lift the heel. Just starting to bring a little bit of movement into the hamstrings, into the calves. Again, as you do this, you're welcome to take your hands onto a block in front of the body, or if you have 2, maybe under each arm. You can even bend the back leg and create different kind of positions there. Depends on how the legs are feeling as you're practicing. Things you could also do is kind of like twist your hips side to side, or if you wanted to hold a position, legs straight or a little bent, go for it. Again, this is quite an intuitive practice. I'm obviously guiding you through some foundations, but you can create your own little bits as we go through. Okay, when you're ready, let's ground the right toes, drop the left knee down to the floor, switch that right hand so it now comes to the inside of the right leg. We're coming into dragon pose. So you're just going to start to heel toe the right foot a little bit wider, and then keep the heel grounded and let the toes turn away from you ever so slightly. The foot doesn't have to stay flat, it can lift off on the inside if it wants to. So see how that feels. And if you're pretty happy here, you're obviously welcome to stay. Or another variation you can take is really pressing through that left hand. Remember, you can take left hand on top of your block, and then use the right hand to just gently press that knee away from you a little bit more. And as you do, you're continuing to allow the chest to rotate to open. Another thing you can explore is maybe lifting the back heel in towards the body for some feedback into the back leg. And if you wanted to, you can keep it there, you can move or rotate through the ankle, or maybe you take hold of the foot. Again, see what feels available this morning. Just allow yourself to breathe, to listen to your body's needs. Okay, we're going to take one more breath here wherever we are. And then when you are ready, ground the back leg, plant the right hand to the floor, turn those right toes forwards, bring it in a little bit more. Switch the right hand back to the outside, and we're going to move back into our half splits position. So maybe have your block handy. As you start to lift the right toes off the floor, allow that leg to go straight. So again, you can take your hands on top of the block. You can have a little wriggle into your hips side to side, a bit of movement into your spine, flexing, extending. Another thing to do, maybe you take your arms right to left and involve a twist. You can reach your hands for the front leg. Just have a little play around. Or even a simple thing as pointing and flexing into the front toes. Okay, let's take one more breath here. And then when you're ready, bend back into the front leg. Let's take a low lunge position, bringing ourselves all the way up. Take a moment, roll through the shoulders. Figure out the hip position, whether they're tilting too far forwards or back, or whether they're neutral. And from here, take an inhale, reach your left hand up with the right hand on the knee, and exhale, slowly lean to the right hand side. Different positions for the hands, for example, you can take right hand to hold the left ribs, the left hand can kind of rest on the head, or you just see where you want to take it. Allow a little bend more into the front leg if you want. Go for one more breath. And bring yourself all the way up to low lunge. Hands come down to the ground, step back into tabletop. Maybe just have a little wriggle here. Okay, so I'll do it all on the other side. When you're ready, step that left foot forwards. Take the left hand to the outside of the left leg. Tuck the back toes, lift the knee, and again start with rocking backwards and forwards. Front leg, back leg. You can take your hands on top of the block. Really try lift the front toes, ground the back leg, lift the heel, etc. Or maybe bend. You can shake side to side. Or you can hold. Again, just see how this side responds. How it's feeling this morning. Okie dokie. Let's take one more breath here. And then when you're ready, bringing the right knee down to the floor, take the left hand to the inside of the left leg this time. Just heel toe that foot away a little bit wider, turning the toes away with you. So remember, as we slowly bring ourselves into dragon pose with maybe the inside of the foot lifting, feel free to take the right hand to the block. You can start to lift the chest. Left hand to the left knee, maybe it pushes it away ever so slightly. We still find that lovely rotation into the spine. You can keep it here, or you can again play around with lifting the back leg up. Maybe movement to the ankle or to the toes, or you can catch a leg. Just see wherever you want to go. Focusing again on breathing and some engagement into the glutes. Cool. Let's go one more breath here. And then slowly lower the back leg. If it's lifted, bring those left toes forwards, ground the hands. And then as you heel toe the left foot back in, left hand goes to the outside, and we start to push ourselves back into our hips as the front leg straightens and the toes lift, and we come into our half splits. And again, we can use our block, we can point and flex into the toes, the spine can move side to side. So again, see how usually the belly of the hamstring is responding. If your knee needs to bend, that's absolutely fine. Just allowing little bits of movement. Or a hold. Nice. Okay. Let's go for one more breath here. And then when you're ready, ground down into the front toes, into the left leg. And then when you're ready, stepping back into your tabletop, have a little wriggle into the whole body. Alrighty. So from here, let's bring ourselves down into a kneeling position. Again, as you kneel, you can have the feet flat or you can tuck them. It's completely up to you how you move. So for the first portion of this movement, we're going to start by bringing the left hand behind us. Whether we're down on the fingertips or flat hand, it doesn't matter. But we're going to reach that right hand up and over. So a really nice extension and rotation. So from here, the arms kind of stay exactly as they are, but you're going to bring your shoulders over your hips. So we start to have this big like arm span. And then as you lift the hips off the ground, the right hand is going to come down. So we're into this like three-legged tabletop. And then that left hand is going to threadle underneath the right, and we come down into our tabletop position. Keep the right hand where it is for now. Push through the right hand, rotate all the way back up, three-legged tabletop. Ground the butt, bring the arms up. Left hand goes behind, right hand reaches over. Cool, let's try it on the right side. So right hand behind, left hand reaches up. Bring the shoulders over the hips, wingspan, taking it down to three-legged tabletop, right hand above, and then threadle it underneath. So right arm to the floor. And then again, reverse it, push, lift, ground the butt, bring the arms open, right hand to the floor, left hand reaches. And then sweep to the left hand side. We're going to do it one more time. So left hand behind, right arm up. If you wanted to lift the hips off the ground, go for it. Have one more breath here. Ground the hips if they're lifted, into the wingspan, up into that three-legged tabletop. Maybe rotate that top hand around the back, work through the shoulder a little bit. Bring the arm back up above, and then into thread the needle. Left hand down to the ground. Stay here. If you want to change the position of the right hand, you can wrap it around your back. Or take the fingertips to the ground above your head. One more breath. And then push through again. That right hand peel open with the left arm on top. And then ground the hips into the wingspan, lifting all the way back. And then sweep to the right hand side last time. Right hand behind, left hand on top. Again, maybe lift your hips off the ground or off the heels if you fancy. Ground them and then then coming up to the wingspan position and into the tabletop, right arm reaching above, or wrap it around your back and find little movements to the shoulder. Then return, thread the needle, right arm behind left wrist, come down to that shoulder, breathing here. Change your position with that left hand if you fancy. Okay, last time, ground left hand, peel open through the right, drop the hips, reach behind you with the left hand. And then coming all the way forwards, maybe just roll through the shoulders. Okay, lovely. Let's come into our last little sequence. So for the release, both legs in front of you. You're going to start by bringing the left leg in, holding the foot with the right hand and the knee with the left hand, and just kind of rocking the legs side to side. You can allow it to go straight. You can draw it in nice and close. Another thing is to kind of bring the knee behind you, or maybe try create this rotation where the foot goes behind. Okay, nice. Now when you're ready, plant that left foot down to the inside off the right leg. We're going to bring the hands into the middle of the knees and then slowly walk them away, slowly folding forwards. You can always take your hands on top of a block, or maybe if you feel, this mobility this morning, maybe you take the forehead down to the block, or you fold even further. Completely up to you. Again, see where you want to take it. We're going to be here for 3 more breaths. Allow the right leg to soften a little bit. Last breath here. And then looking forwards, walk the hands all the way in. You're going to bring your left hand behind you, your right hand to the outside of the left knee, and just gently bring yourself into a twist. Supporting the body with the hand that's behind. One more breath. And then rotating forwards, release the left leg onto the other side. Bring the right foot, right knee in, so you can cradle, you can rock side to side, you can straighten it up, you can hug it in, you can take it behind you. Okay, whatever kind of feels good. Okay. And when you're ready, plant it down again to the inside of the left thigh. Folding in between the knees, walking the hands away, coming down as low as you're comfortable with, making use of your block. Again, if stillness doesn't feel good today, maybe you just lightly pulse in and out. Bring just a little bit of gentle movement in. See wherever you want to take it. You'll have 3 more breaths here. Last breath. And when you're ready, coming all the way up again, let's take the right hand behind us, left hand to the outside of the knee, and gently twisting. So again, as you do this, try to keep both of your butt cheeks onto the floor as you twist. Spine is nice and supported through the back hand. Taking one more breath here. Lovely. And then slowly releasing both legs forwards. And as you lie down, you're going to bring yourself into happy baby. So feet go up to the ceiling, holding the feet wherever, and gently rocking yourself side to side. You can hold the legs, either feet, ankles, calves, thighs, whatever feels good. Maybe play around with taking the soles of the feet together, straightening up the legs a little bit. Cool, so from here when you're ready, plant the right foot to the floor and you're going to cross the left ankle above that right knee, lifting the right foot off the floor to hold the back of the right thigh. So figure 4, just gently rocking side to side. Last few poses now. Cool. And then from here, we're going to take a figure 4 twist. So take both foot and right leg down to the ground on the right side, with your left arm extending away from you into whatever sort of position that feels good. If the twist with your legs in this position doesn't feel super comfortable, you're welcome to take it with both knees on top. But again, like I said, just see what feels best for you. Okay, let's go one more breath here. And then coming all the way back to the middle, swap the legs over, so cross right ankle above left knee, hold the back of the left thigh. Again, we can shake, rock side to side, little bit of movement, maybe we draw the knees in closer. And then when you're ready, dropping the legs down to the left, extending the right arm away from you. Again, if this doesn't feel particularly comfortable, feel free to change it up. Okay, one more breath here. And then slowly coming all the way back to the middle. Now the last pose, we're going to come into bridge or supported bridge. So have your block to hand. So you're going to plant your feet to the floor and just check you can brush your heels with your fingertips. And then when you're ready, just lifting the lower body off the ground so you can slide the block underneath, just above your glutes, so that when the body lowers back down, the block is there to help support it. You've got 3 settings on your block usually, so you can choose one that suits you best. And you're just going to allow the body weight to be taken. I do have a final option. If you feel comfortable and if you feel sort of supported and safe enough, you're welcome to slowly straighten out the legs. So instead of the feet being completely in contact with the ground, it's just the heels as the legs go straight. It can feel like quite a strong pose, so take your time to come into it. There's no pressure to, but it's a little bit stronger for the front of your hips. Okay, wherever you are, we're going to take 3 more breaths here. Okay, last breath. If your legs are straight, slowly rebend them. And to just release the block, lift up the glutes, slide it out, hug your knees into your chest, rocking yourself side to side. Then to come back to seated to closed class, you can either rock up and down or roll over to one side. And then bring yourself all the way back up to a comfortable seat. So thank you for practicing with me. I really hope you enjoyed and you feel energized for the rest of your day. Any future video requests, do let me know in the comments and I will see you next time.